makes an entrepreneur so popular? You know, in our country, cricketers are, film stars are, and but how can an entrepreneur become so popular? Entrepreneurs have definitely become very big, but how so popular?
I think you need to ask.
Yes? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, I think all of us have gone through your story, the way you started the business, came out of your family business, started with the 15,000, really did all the hard work, understanding the FMCG space. You had your learnings from all the big companies, the MNCs who were here, and also you worked and learned a lot from the Indian companies also. So in this entire journey, which has been phenomenal, and we are all here to hear about it, where is the point that you think this actual transformation of yours as an individual, as an entrepreneur started?
So thank you. Good afternoon all. It's my pleasure to be here. So my learning started in terms of not when I was with the family. So when I moved out of family, I told my family that I don't want any share in my family property or in the business. So when I started on my own, so I burnt literally midnight oil. So I wanted to succeed. The fire in my belly was very high. So naturally what happened, I need to do something. So I was thirst of learning, fundamentally, wanting to do the right way, right things and succeed, basically. That's where I started. So far, during school and colleges, I haven't read much at all. Only 2 days before examinations, you read the books and appear for the exams. And here, willingly wanting to learn something. So learning English first, very important thing. So better English. So I spent a lot of time. So that a lot of books were in English. So you need to learn. So that I think is the first step, and then started reading management books, started reading technical books. So all these things helped me. But I started spending everyday time. One book I chanced to hit upon was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Then 10 Natural Laws of Successful Life and Time Management by Dr. Hiram Smith. So I think such kind of books helped me. I read a concept called invest in yourself, that is magic 2.5 hours. So if you spend consistently, because if you know somebody, a musician or a sports person, they go to a kind of program, musician goes and performs in a program, or a sportsman goes and plays a match, do you think they won't practice and straight away go and play there? No, they won't do. But only business people don't do. Straight away, just get up and go to the office and start practicing there. So the concept here is, it's important that you invest yourself, you transform. That's an execution time. Okay, when you go to the office, you only have time to execute. But the 2.5 hours, that's what Dr. Hiram Smith said. If you spend consistently over a period of time to transform yourself, to educate yourself, because the feed is you. You are going to go and perform, practice, learn more. So that I think is that had a profound impact in me. And I used to wake up very late. And I said, okay, I'm going to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Put the alarm. Felt very sleepy. I said, no, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to push myself. I'm committed to transform myself. So woke up, started reading, started learning something from this thing. Slowly, if you look at visualization, thinking, all these things, it is said very clearly, a person is a product of his or her own thinking. Okay? And that's very important. Otherwise, you don't think. Many times, earlier, before that, I used to get, when I go in the flight, I get ideas. You go into a washroom, which is completely closed, you get ideas. The reason being, you are starving of yourself from thinking. Very fundamental. Very important thing is systematically think. Reflect what has happened. Think what is your business, where you want to apply. And that helps you. Slowly it was very difficult. Your mind started detouring. But every day you started putting in, you become better and better. Be conscious of that. So over a period of time, I can now, if you give me a topic, tell me this is only 10 minutes, you need to expand and think very sharp and come out with something, I can do it. Because I am able to chisel my mind, able to channelize it well, focus, and come out with kind of this thing, some clear inputs. So that's why the 2.5 hours of magic 2.5 hours, what I started 30 years back, and still I'm continuing, if you look at. And every day I would have grown only by 0.1 mm, 1 mm kind of this thing. Over a period of 30 years, I have grown myself as a much better person. So therefore that gets reflected in the business. Initially it was a lot of doubts, hesitation about, am I taking the right decision? You are tentative, you delay. Now if you can tell me any decisions, if you look at 98% of my decisions are taken within a minute. So that's very important. Because you are very, very clear, so it's easy to take a call, whether it's right or wrong. So only when certain things, too much complications or mathematical this thing, okay, let me go through and then come back. But otherwise, these small decisions, if you look at most of the things is small. Only 1% of the decision is big. You have to be fast. So people love to come to me because I give quick inputs. I don't keep this thing about, okay, let me think, let me come back, and small decision you should not delay. That enhances your speed is my viewpoint.
Not working.
Yes, definitely. No, I will. Thank you. Can get me out. So I was just talking that you have spoken so much about your transformation, the kind of effort, self-education, self-training. What is the role that mentors have played? You know, you have had people who have inspired you in your life, family, business, people around you, coaches, trainers, could be in any form. So how has mentorship really worked in this transformation?
I can tell you, they played a very huge role. Okay, my mentors are Stephen Kavin, Hiram Smith, like that. One of the things I can say, besides various book authors,
Right.
I think I really value them. Every research I go back again and again read, because first time you don't understand fully, but again you read, you start looking at it from a very different dimension. So I think that way very important. Not only that, when I read, when I like a concept, my thinking hat comes alive. Okay, what do I do? Say, okay, this is fine. How am I going to apply this? So therefore, a strategy to apply this is very important. A lot of people, they say it's very nice, but they don't think to the next step of how am I going to make it work.
Right.
So I will ensure anything that I work, it becomes part of my calendar. I'm very organized. My calendar is my kind of thing. How I spend my time, how often I'll revisit this concept, whether I'm doing it or not. Very, very important. So if you don't put it in your calendar, it will not happen. It will remain as a wish, very clearly. So that's my learning.
Wonderful.
And other than that, I would say I also learned quite a lot from others' mistake. It's not necessary that you need to make all the mistakes to learn yourself. I think very carefully read a lot of people's success, failures, people around you, and start understanding why they are not growing, why they failed here, what are the kind of reasons. I think you will learn a lot. Then you don't do the same mistakes. No? You better be careful. That's exactly what has happened. I learned a lot from my brothers.
Okay. You have a lot of your brothers are also very famous and
Absolutely.
Doing very well in their own league. So it is generally said you cannot really plan a lot of things. You make decisions and then you make those decisions work. You go to the last mile of execution and really apply your mind and go to the last mile. So you must have taken a lot of decisions. Yours being a very, very dynamic industry, B2C, all there, competition is really organized, big players. So what are the kind of milestones that you could say that have really taught you? I would not call them failures, but in terms of decisions that you've taken in your journey, which have really taught you not work for Kavin Care, but work for you to become a better version of yourself.
A very critical decision is that refines you much better, so both success and failures. So one of the decisions I could say that we decided way back in the 90s, we started our shampoo was doing well. We said we'll get into mineral water. That was the in thing at that time. That was just a very small market.
Packaged bottle water.
Packaged mineral water.
Okay.
So we launched with all fanfare. But within a month's time, we realized that this is a very wrong move. We have not done our homework. So we very openly admitted to our distributors, apologized, all the field force, and said we withdrew. We are walking out of this game. So that was, I think, is a very, very important thing. The reason being,